National Drug Law Enforcement Agency reveals factors responsible for countering the fight against illicit drug production, trafficking and use, and carbon-related organized crime, including counterfeit narcotics and psychotropic substances. The agency also stated that poverty, ignorance, peer pressure, lack of self-discipline, greed, and unemployment, among others, are the major factors responsible for facilitating the use and trafficking of illicit drugs.
When you have the challenge of poor parenting, when parents at home don't take care of their children, get involved properly in their upbringing. So you have a lot of these children relying absolutely on the streets, what you call the streets, that's outside. Societal, especially the bad influences from the society. And that's where they succumb to peer pressure because they're out there meeting with some bad friends who influence them to do the negative, to do the bad things. So beyond that, you also have some parents who even themselves are also in it, whether as drug abusers or as traffickers. So automatically the children see what their parents are doing. So there is the tendency for them to copy that. Imagine a parent sending his or her child to go and buy a bottle of beer or a stick of cigarettes. When you are done smoking that cigarette or taking that bottle of beer, over time you leave some remnants on the table, on the floor. That child is hiding in a corner, watching you. He's encouraged by his perceived enjoyment. His father or his mother is deriving from that particular substance. And so when you leave the scene, he or she goes there to experiment, to want to also have some fun, like his or her parents.
Apart from the family influence, there are other factors facilitating drug use or trafficking as people move from one category of drug use to the other for various reasons. Drug users and traffickers who have been arrested and convicted over the years gave several reasons why they choose that path. But are those reasons genuine enough? Were those reasons able to solve the problem or compound it?
Traffickers who often say, well, it's more or less a rhetoric now, that it's because of hardship, it's because they need money to take care of their children, their family, it's because of no job, they are doing this. But then what we always say is it's not a justification, because that will not solve the problem. Instead, you are compounding the problem. As a trafficker, if you get involved in the illicit trade because you want to make money, a lot of them even invest as much as 3-5 million into it. Now that 3-5 million you're investing in the drug trade, couldn't you have invested it in a legitimate business? So at the end of the day, when they are arrested, everything goes down the drain. They lose it all because they'll lose their freedom, they'll lose the money, the little money they gather to invest in the criminal trade, they'll lose everything. They'll lose that's the drugs. And at the end of the day, now what the agency does is we go beyond all of that to even investigate all that you have acquired. If you have gotten homes, vehicles, we go after them because the agency would want to deny you the benefits of the process of crime. So at the end of the day, you lose everything. So how does that solve the problem you were running away from the beginning?
The chairman, chief executive officer of the agency, retired General Buba Marwa, came into office with the mantra of eradicating drug production, use and trafficking totally or to the greatest level. In the last 2 years, Marwa's administration has recorded several seizures and arrests but is yet to win all. The agency spokesperson Femi Babafemi said in an exclusive interview that
never be enough to eradicate the problem. Anywhere in the world, it's an ongoing fight, it's an ongoing battle, and so it's something we may have to contend with for years to come. Our own intelligence gathering, we know that indeed They are feeling the heat, and they'll continue. We'll not let down. We're not going to let down until we make sure that the scourge is either reduced to the barest minimum or totally eradicated if possible.
Given that there are consequences to the production, use, and trafficking of illicit substances, there have been speculations that punishments given to offenders cannot be compared with the gravity of their offense. Many have stated that the main drug barons in the country are at the helm of power or have a connection with people at the helm of power. Babafemi stated that Nigerian law stipulates 15 to 25 years or life imprisonment for drug offenders, but the option of a fine by a reputable court of law has become a major challenge in punishing the offenders.
The challenge of sentencing in the court. You have situations where you have some judges giving options of fine, which, yeah, it's in the law, but some of the options of fine can be very ridiculous, which we have also, a number of which we have also challenged, solicit for the support of the judiciary. And we are happy that there have been some positive developments, but beyond all of that, we're also addressing this through the support of the National Assembly, and at the moment we have the amendment of the NDLEA, the amendment bill on the NDLEA Act before the National Assembly. That amendment would help remove the option of fine, because when somebody commits a crime that he should go in for 15-25 years for in jail, and you give him an option of fine of 700,000 and even some ridiculous 2,000-3,000 naira, is not deterred. So, but then the amendment would further strengthen the deterrence effect of what we're doing.
He therefore assured that the agency is working with other stakeholders in order to support and further enhance the work of the agency.